These games burn half as long, but twice as bright. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 awesome games you can beat in a day. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at some of the best modern games with short runtimes, usually under 6 hours. We're excluding retro games since there are so many more short games from the early days of gaming due to hardware limitations.
Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors.
Number 10, To the Moon. Although it may look like an RPG from the Super Nintendo era, To the Moon is more of a story-focused game. Based around two scientists viewing and altering a dying man's memories, players must solve puzzles and learn more about his life to fulfill the man's lifelong desire to go to the moon. With its sweet and charming atmosphere, nostalgic graphics and gameplay, and a touching depiction of one man's life, To the Moon is a quick game that we're positively over the moon about. Number 9, Superhot. If our last entry was all about the story, this one is entirely gameplay driven. Superhot is a first-person polygonal action/puzzle game that's based around the premise that time only moves while the player is moving. This allows the player to stop in the middle of the action and examine how best to approach the death that surrounds them, whether in the form of obstacles or enemies. In most cases, the more creative the solution, the cooler the player feels, as the combat calls to mind a scene from The Matrix. Despite how short it is, Superhot definitely has replayability. Number 8, Thomas Was Alone.
She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape.
This deceptively simple platformer sees the player control a group of shapes that represent computer programs, including the titular Thomas, through a variety of levels, while their actions are frequently narrated.
Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate.
Although much of its presentation wouldn't look out of place in an online Flash game, Thomas Was Alone distinguishes itself with its more polished look, an enchanting soundtrack, as well as its signature narration. The fact that all of this manages to get us attached to basic shapes is quite the feat, and is reason enough to check this little title out.
As they struggled to get to the next portal, John hoped that he would be the next to get eaten.
Number 7, Monument Valley. Monument Valley is a mobile puzzle game that follows a princess who must traverse various isometric levels while overcoming various obstacles with new techniques introduced each time. These levels are done in a style reminiscent of MC Escher's artwork, filled with visual illusions and impossible architecture. Anyone who has seen Escher's work has no doubt wished to explore such starkly beautiful and mind-bending environments. And Monument Valley offers this chance in a short but rewarding package that's well worth a few hours of your time. Number 6, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. This puzzle adventure game follows two brothers on a journey to find a way to save their ill father. Although one might expect it to be co-op with 2 players, Brothers is a single-player game, with both of the eponymous characters controlled via a different control stick in tandem, which makes for very challenging gameplay. This unique game mechanic, along with a story told in a fictional language with no subtitles, means the player must look for non-verbal clues, making for a very engaging experience. Number 5, Undertale. A retro-styled RPG, Undertale follows a young human caught in an underground world filled with monsters and odd creatures which they must overcome one way or another to return to the surface. The game allows the player to choose whether to pacify the monsters they encounter or kill them, in a battle system that directly affects the game's outcome and many of its events, giving Undertale a great deal of replayability despite its short length. With its unique style, memorable characters, in-depth narrative, and catchy music, Undertale is a game you're gonna have a good time with. Number 4. Shadow of the Colossus. Another adventure puzzle game, Shadow of the Colossus tells the story of a young man who tries to bring his love back from the dead by killing a group of giant creatures. The game's simple story and intuitive gameplay make it very accessible, but the challenge of discovering each of the Colossi's weaknesses makes it rewarding as well. Combined with the beautiful visuals and environments and the soaring soundtrack, help make Shadow of the Colossus an epic experience you can immerse yourself in for a day. Number 3. Inside. Few games have depicted a story quite as effectively through their gameplay as Inside. The player controls a young boy who traverses a series of haunting and dangerous locales, solving puzzles and uncovering many disturbing events, all while evading pursuers. Though we considered choosing Limbo, a similar game made by the same developers, ultimately we decided on Inside, as we feel that its greater emphasis on storytelling, its more impressive visuals, and its higher degree of polish makes it a more rewarding experience. Number 2. Portal. For what might have been a glorified physics demo, Portal is freaking amazing. This game-changing Valve title sees players put through a series of puzzle challenges using a portal gun. Players must move items or themselves to solve conundrums and reach their goal, all at the behest of a surprisingly snarky AI with a distinctive voice.
Chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
The Portal mechanic offers a challenging and fun experience, making Portal a game that's short, but as sweet as that promised cake. Portal's clever puzzles and witty antagonist has made it iconic in the gaming community.
Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. That's you. That's how dumb you sound.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant.
Number 1. Journey. This game joins Inside as one of the best games to tell a story through gameplay. Journey follows a robed character in a desert as they must traverse their way towards the light on the mountain. The action is simple and fun, while the music and atmosphere are gorgeous. In addition, the ability to meet up with other players and interact non-verbally with them is a stroke of genius. Journey may not be a long trip, but it's one well worth taking, maybe even several times. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.